Welcome to Accessible Pelvic Floor Chair Yoga. I am your guide. My name is Megan. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And let's go ahead and jump right in. Today I have my chair, of course. I have a blanket that I'm going to sit on. None of these things are explicitly needed today. I don't have anything planned for blocks, but sometimes they come in handy if you have shorter arms or a longer torso. And I have a bolster, and this is just something weighted that I can lay on my lap towards the end of class to help me find some grounding and centering. So let's go ahead and arrive into our practice, into our bodies, into this moment. So if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Take a nice big breath into the nose. And a nice exhale. Find gentle sways of the torso, left to right, side to side. And begin to feel the pressure shift from the right to the left, to that sit bone on each side as you sway. Bringing your attention into your body. You can continue to sway, or maybe you pick up one hip and you begin to walk your hips up and down your chair, leaning over to one side, picking the opposite hip up, and either walking it forward or back, just going side to side, up and down your chair. Trying to stay soft and relaxed as much as you can here. And once you find a nice spot on your chair where you feel the most grounded, supported, then root your sit bones down there. Plant the entire soles of the feet, or at least maybe feel them pressing down. Inhale, reach the roof of the mouth up towards the sky. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Soften through the hips, relax the face, and begin to notice your breath. Observe how you are arriving today. Go ahead and set an intention for your practice. This can be something as simple as an I am statement. Maybe an I am joyful. I am grateful. I am capable. I am worthy. I am patient. Whatever resonates with you. Usually one of the first things that pops to mind is a good thing to go with. Just repeat that a few times as you notice what that feels like in your body. Let's seal this intention in with 3 centering breaths. On the inhale, the arms sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, palms come to touch, draw them down the center line. 2 more times at your own pace with your own breath. At the end of the 3rd one, gentle bow of the head to honor your practice, your body, and not only your intention, but the intention of all of us as a collective who are watching this practice in the past and the future. Go ahead and bring your left hand to your chest, and your right hand to your belly, and deepen your breath. As you inhale, breathe into the chest, expand through the rib cage, out wide, and then bring it all the way down to the belly. As you exhale, the belly deflates, the rib cage deflates, the chest. Moving at your own pace in this way, breathing in through the chest, expanding through the rib cage, expanding all the way down to the belly. Exhale, let it seep out slowly with control. If it's out of your mouth, imagine you're blowing out a candle. And begin to count your inhales and your exhales. And what I mean is count the time. So as you inhale, you might say 1, 2, 3, 4. As you exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just move like this a couple of times, counting the length of your inhale, the length of your exhale. Seeing if you can keep it consistent for 2 or 3 rounds of breath. And as you're doing that, I'm going to explain a hand mudra that we will be working with today. And hopefully you can count and listen at the same time. If not, don't worry about it. Just count your breath and ignore me for a little bit. So mudras have been practiced by Ayurvedic and yogic practitioners for thousands of years. And they used to be, and still are, prescribed for health reasons. And there are even current studies that show the benefits of working with hand mudras on people with asthma and respiratory challenges. So I will begin implementing different mudras, and there's a lot more to mudras than that, but I don't have time to really get into all the nitty-gritty about hand mudras. But today we're going to be working with Privd mudra, and what that looks like if you take your hands, your thumb and your ring finger are going to come to touch. And ideally, we want the ring finger nail to press just below the nail of the thumb. Excuse me, I'm trying to get the light and focus here. And a gentle press, and you want this to be as circular as possible. If I press the thumb or the pads together, you see it makes more of like a teardrop or an oval shape. So I really want the nail gently pressing into the thumb right underneath the nail or gently below. The rest of my fingers are extending. And I know that if you have arthritic hands, this can feel really challenging. So please pace yourself. If it becomes too challenging, take a break, let your hands relax, maybe roll them out. And maybe that's all you do today. Maybe you come back to this mudra tomorrow for a little bit longer of a time. I do know people that use rubber bands to help keep these fingers together, and you're working towards extending the other hands. But you want the hand to be as relaxed as it possibly can be while you're holding this shape. So go ahead and find this Privd mudra. It's Privthi, as circular as you can through the fingers. And you can lay the backs of the hands on the thighs. And then continue counting your breath and notice if you find more depth or if it feels more shallow. You're sitting up nice and tall. Counting the inhales, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more, just to notice and tune in to the effects on your breath. Go ahead and release, roll out the hands. And notice, did your breath change at all? Did you find that you had more depth? If you found more depth, then this is a great practice for you to add into your practice or your day. Maybe you sit for a couple minutes before you eat breakfast or before you go to bed and just take a few breaths with this mudra. If it made your breath shallow, then this probably is not the mudra for you to practice at this time. And we'll explore other mudras in the future, and maybe those will be a better fit for your specific needs. And maybe you didn't feel any change at all. That happens too. This is very subtle work, and it can take practice to tune into these things. Next, let's find a cat-cow. Hands come onto your knees. As you inhale, pull the chest through. As you draw the hands back towards the hips, lift your gaze. Exhale, push the hands away and around through the spine. Tuck the chin in. Inhale, elbows reach back as you get broad across the chest. Really moving and opening up through the spine here. And feeling gentle stretching along the way. Find your edge, your range of mobility here. And when you're ready, begin to find barrel rolls, shifting from cow pose. The rib cage shifts over to the right, like it's bumping towards a wall, rounding towards the back, spiraling to the left. Your own pace here. I like to start my exhale from cat, halfway forward. Inhale, cow, to the side. Exhale, cat, to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to go the other direction. Your breath doesn't have to match mine, but be mindful of your own breath here, your own pace, your own rhythm. And just notice where the movement's coming from. Do you feel the movement in your hips and your pelvis? Do you feel it mostly in the shoulders, in the torso, the spine? Is the pressure shifting from sit bone to sit bone? And then slowly come to center. Center, nice long spine. Let's do cat-cow, adding the arms this time. So as you inhale, send the arms out nice and wide. Pull them back behind you as you pull the chest, this big extroverted space as you gently lean forward. Exhale, reach the arms forward as you lean back. A couple more times here. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, close and round as you reach forward. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Find a neutral seat. Hands come back down. And notice if you feel a bit more spacious in the spine, if your posture feels a bit more easeful. And then let's find some active twists. Before we do this, let's activate our core using our breath. And I call this the breath, but I don't know if there's a particular name used commonly for it. But what it is, it's like you're making sound on your exhale. It's almost like I'm saying chew, like chew, chew, like a train. And as I do that, my belly is cinching in. It's almost like my belly is pulling in to hug my spine, and it's actually pulling in that transverse abdominis to support the spine and engage that supportive core muscle. So inhale, almost like you're pulling your belly away from your hand. Okay. Once you have that down, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, center, nice long spine. Exhale, and you're going to twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. And this may be a very little movement. That's okay. We want our muscles, our core muscles, to do the work here. Okay. Let's do this a couple more times each direction. Beautiful. Go ahead and release that from each side. And now let's find some more passive twists. Let's take our feet out a bit wider. My feet are slightly in front of my knees. Okay. If you need to scoot up to closer to the edge of the chair, I also like to scoot the flesh out from underneath my sit bones. This helps me sit up nice and tall. My pelvis is slightly tilted forward, so I'm not rounding in the low back and sitting on my tailbone. It can be something that you play with and become more mindful of. I'm going to bring my left forearm to my left thigh. If this is where you have short arms or a long torso and that feels far away, you can bring a pillow or a block to that thigh for your forearm. And this also gives you space for that nice deep breath in through the torso. Let's add in some arm movements. As you inhale, the arm is going to reach back as your torso spirals open, and follow with your gaze, watching your thumb, if that's comfortable with the neck. And you're going to reach it across. You see how I reach forward, and now I'm reaching over towards the left. And then I'm going to keep opening. I'm going to kind of bend my arm to get past my leg there and then reach it back long. My chest is spiraling open towards the right, and my gaze is following my thumb all the way around. And what this does as I watch my thumb, not only is it a great eye exercise, but it's also really good for our balance, because our eyes are very close to our vestibular inner ear system, which has a lot to do with our balance. You might feel some warming up in the shoulders and some opening up in that right shoulder especially. And next time you reach it up towards the sky, just keep reaching up. Think about getting long from that right hip to the right fingertips. And exhale, release. You might feel the blood kind of drain back down into that right arm. And notice how the right arm feels compared to the left. Okay, let's do the other side. If you're using a prop, bring it to the right side. Bring that right forearm down either onto the thigh or your pillow, block, whatever you have. And then begin your arm circles. That left arm is going to reach out to this side. And as it does, my whole torso is opening up. My gaze is following my thumb as I bring the shoulder around. And then I reach forward to the right across the body. Feel that reach. And then bring it down. Bend the elbow to move over that thigh. Big inhale as I reach up. Exhale as I reach forward and down. Your own pace. You You can be faster or slower than me, but feel it. Feel all the pieces of the puzzle or the pie. Notice how it feels in the spine. Notice how it feels in that shoulder. And if you're watching your arm, you don't want to get dizzy, right? One more time. And this time as you reach up, hold here and reach, reach, reach. Exhale, release the arm back down. Notice how the body feels. I'm going to release my block. And let's do some lower body stuff here. Gentle windshield wipers. I like to bring my hands to either the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, and my sit bones towards the edge further so I can find a bit more of that internal external rotation. Just letting the knees drop from side to side. As much as what feels good, the movement is coming from the hips. So this femur bone or the upper thigh bone is kind of rolling around in its socket a little bit, creating lubrication in that joint, opening it up a little bit, finding some more ease. Go ahead and come to center, and you can heel toe your feet back in closer, and you can hug the right knee up in towards the chest. Hands can be behind the thigh or the shin, and maybe find a little glide from side to side. While we're here, let's roll through that ankle. If you have a movement in your legs, really flex and point. Spread the toes out wide, finding that ankle mobility and strength. Our feet are connected to our pelvic floor through a fascial meridian line. And believe it or not, they do have something to do with pelvic floor health. And that's why we're going to do some heel raises. Those are great for pelvic floor and for feet health. Okay, and go ahead and circle that knee around. You can guide that knee in circles with your hands like so. Or maybe if you want the leg to work a little bit more, you can just have a hand kind of guiding the knee, letting the work come from that hip flexor. Circle the other direction. And go ahead and let that leg come down and hug the left knee in towards the chest-ish, right? If you have flesh, you can move that flesh over towards the side if it's in the way, and then hug the leg in, just to find maybe a bit more depth or a bit more of what you're looking for if you want a stretch here. Not necessary though. And also, if you have short arms, this can be quite a squeeze. So that's where a strap or a necktie, a dog leash, something like that can come in handy. Even a t-shirt, you can hook it around the back of the leg, and I'll show you just so you have an idea. I have a yoga belt here, or a yoga strap. You can put it behind the leg and do it like this. The only thing is arthritic hands holding onto the strap can be a lot. So just pace yourself there. Find movement in the ankles. Point, flex, spread the toes out as wide as you can. Roll it around in each direction. Find those sways with the knees as well. And now finding knee circles, either guiding that knee. And this can be an option because I know if you're using a strap, this can be a lot of effort, and it might be more effort than it's worth. Okay. So listen to yourself here. Maybe you lean back a little bit and try to do it. It can be a very small movement here, okay, if you still want some sort of action here. All right. Go ahead and release. Let's get some blood flow into the legs more than there already is. So you can find fist and gently punch. Maybe punch isn't the right word. Love tap your legs, your thighs. If you have movement in your legs, you can find a bounce off the ball mounds of your feet. Okay, maybe bounce it out wide and bring it back in. All right, go ahead and relax that. Next is our sun salutations, and we will do it all together in the chair. And then we'll have an option to take a version of the sun salutation standing. So find a nice neutral spine. Find your mountain pose, your Tadasana. Feet are firmly planted. Arms are down, palms facing forward. My shoulders are back and down. My chest is broad. And my eyes are just looking straight to the horizon. Feeling like a mountain here, nice and strong, rooted or grounded. As you inhale, the arms reach up to any degree that feels available and comfortable. Upward salute. As you exhale, forward fold, hands can come to thighs, and you just lean instead of rounding the back. Nice long spine here. Inhale, halfway lift. So come up about halfway wherever you are. And then exhale back into the fold. As you inhale, you're pressing down through the left foot and you bring the right foot up just like we were doing. And exhale, lower the foot down, reach the arms, push them forward, gentle lean, downward facing dog. And go ahead to sit up, bring the other leg in. You can think of this as your lunge. Go ahead and lower, find that halfway lifted position and a full forward fold. Slowly lift the nose, lift the gaze as you come all the way up. Circle sweep the arms up, upward salute. And hands back down through the center and down by your side. I'm going to do that again and give you another option instead of the lunge or single leg raise if that is not your favorite option there. Okay, so you can still find a sense of flow and dynamic movement without something that you really dislike or is really uncomfortable. Inhale, upward salute, arms reach up. Exhale, folds. This fold can be deeper. You can even grab your chair behind you as you lean forward. Make sure your feet are in front of your knees so you feel nice and grounded. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find a twist so that right arm can reach back as you look over your right shoulder. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Push your arms forward, gentle lean. And reach up, twisting to the left. Coming back to center, finding that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, arms up, upward salute. Exhale, hands come back down to mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's do that. Let's see how much time we have. Yeah, let's do that one more time in the chair. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Lift the gaze slightly. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise up and twist. Look over the right shoulder, spiral the torso. Downward facing dog, coming forward, pressing your arms forward, gentle lean forward. Twist over the left. Back through center to find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise, upward salute. Exhale, find your mountain pose. Beautiful. All right, option to come to a stand and do this with me. I'm going to turn to the side. And for my version today, I'm going to have the seat facing me. Okay. Inhale, upward salute. Bring the hands up. Maybe your gaze lifts. Exhale, palms or forearms to the chair seat, forward fold, bow the brain. Inhale, halfway lift, palms come up, nice long spine. And exhale, I'm going to bring my right foot back, think lunge, press to that back heel, nice long spine. Left foot moves back to meet the right, downward facing dog, hips reach back as my chest pulls through the arms. My right foot is going to step forward, lunge. Step the back foot forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees generously here. Lift your torso up nice and long, strong core and spine. Inhale, upward salute. Palms through center, down to Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's do that one or two more times here so we can find that sense of flow and rhythm. Feeling this sense of stability here in mountain pose. Inhale, upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, wherever works for you. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, lunge, right foot steps back. Press the heel in, bend the front knee. And inhale, or whatever breath you're on, left foot meets the right, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you press your hands to lift, the right foot will step forward for your lunge. Step the back foot forward to meet the front, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees generously as you circle sweep up with a nice long spine, upward salute. Hands come back down through center and down by your side, mountain pose, Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, circle, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, lunge. Inhale, step the left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Exhale, right foot steps forward, lunge. Inhale, left foot steps forward to meet the right, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees generously, rise as you inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands down through center and by your side, Tadasana. Wonderful. How did that go? Check in with yourself. And it's okay if your breath, your pace, your rhythm is different than mine. Next, let's do a dynamic side angle. So let's all start together in the chair, and I'll give you an option to do standing as well. Let's turn catty corner in our chair. I'm turning towards the left first. My left foot is going to be off the side of the chair and bent. My ankle is either underneath my knee, or I might heel toe it out a bit further. My right leg is going to extend long, either straight in front of me, or if you have the space, you might even move it out long towards the side. I like to have the sole of my foot planted, but find where you feel stable and good in this position. This can also be a warrior two stance right here. Again, left arm coming down towards the left thigh. You can have your prop here. And we're going to do those same arm circles that we did earlier. Right arm swings up as you really open and broaden through the chest. Maybe your gaze follows that hand all the way up, reaching across. And this whole time, think about relaxing through the pelvic floor. Let's just do 3 circles here. With a big reach up. Reach, reach, reach. Now reach your arm over to the right. Turn on this side core to pull your torso up. Reverse warrior. Your right hand can come to your hip, or maybe even to the chair, if that's comfortable, with the left arm reaching up. Maybe your gaze looks up. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So bring that right leg in. You can begin to walk yourself over to the other side of the chair. Right leg is off the side. Find your position with that ankle. Left leg is long, either right in front, or maybe you slide it back a little bit, depending on the availability you have in your hips here. Okay, right forearm to thigh, sweeping that left arm up and open. 3 big circles here. And on that third one, reach it up. Reach, 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 side angle pose. Reach the arm back behind. Use that left side body to pull you up. Reverse warrior. Find that place, the stability with the left hand. Reach the right arm straight up. Gaze can look up if your stability allows. Big breath in. Smooth breath out. And release. Go ahead and pull that leg in. Come back through center. And you can repeat that, or we can move to a standing version. Okay, go ahead and come up. And find a nice stable position. My left toes are facing, if you see my mat here, it's facing the short edge side of the mat. My back foot is, my back toes are facing out in front of me. So kind of like this with my hands, if you can see. That's what my feet are doing. I'm going to bend into my left leg. And your stance can be wider or more narrow than this. But I will say, now my thigh is way down there, right? So maybe it's just your hand that comes to your thigh. Find those circles. Nice, strong legs to hold you here, okay? And standing, maybe your gaze just finds a spot to look at for stability. And then reach up. And now reverse warrior. So pull that arm behind you, lift the torso up. Hand can come to your hip as you reach the left arm up. Keep that front leg bent. And go ahead and come up. Bring that front leg towards straight, lift the left toes, and I'm just going to turn the toes forward. Now I'm facing forward, picking up my right toes and turning them out. Now I'm ready to do the other side. Bend that right knee, arm can come down, swing your arms around. You might be wondering, how is this pelvic health? Well, this is integrative pelvic health. Everything is connected. Reach that arm up. That pelvis is a part of a larger structure, right? And it's all connected, like it's connected to the feet, it's connected to the jaw. Our space for our breath matters. Go ahead and reverse your warrior. Go ahead, come up. Awesome. Shorten your stance. One thing that's really good for sciatica, actually, as well as the pelvic pain and pelvic health, is walking backwards. So if walking is available to you, we're going to walk around our chair. So I want you to look around your chair and notice if there's anything in the way, and you want to move anything that could be a trip hazard, because we do not want to trip, right? And if you're in your chair, I want you to focus on that breathing. I want you to, if that Prithvi mudra was a good fit for you, you can practice that. Or maybe you just imagine that diaphragm and that opening up of the pelvic floor in the inhale. If you haven't watched my first 5 videos in the pelvic floor chair series, I highly recommend watching those. Okay, so come to the side of your chair. Your hand can be on your chair. If you'd rather do this against the wall, make sure there's nothing behind you, right? And I'm gently, mindfully shifting my weight into one foot as I pick one up. I reach my toes back behind me and I gently roll my foot all the way flat. And then move to the other side. And you can just take a couple steps one direction. And then I'll turn around so I'm facing the other side and have my hand on the wall. Moving slowly. Okay, mindfully, if you are moving around the chair, kind of different because you're not moving straight, so you get a little bit more movement. And if you are going around the chair, turn around the other way so you're moving in both directions and holding the chair with the other hand. Let's do this a few more times. Sometimes I do this when I'm walking my dog because he has to stop to, smell and pee on everything. So I walk backwards a little bit until he's ready. Really, it works completely different muscles than walking forward. Great. Okay, come back to your chair. And I want to show you we're doing dancing chair. So I'll show you the chair version first, and we can all do it together. And then I'll show you the standing option. So we're going to add heel lifts. Again, our feet are connected to our pelvic floor, and heel lifts are one of the best exercises that we can do for our feet and pelvic floor. I recommend doing them every day. Now, as you inhale, let's see. Yes, you can lean forward. Hands can be on your shins. As you exhale, lean back, lift your heels. Inhale. Exhale, press through the ball mounds of the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you do your hands at your heart. It's a little bit more challenging. Exhale. You can do your arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Find what works for you there. If you are standing, you can do it with the chair behind you. That can be nice as you move into chair pose. Or if you want to hold onto the chair for balance, coming up onto your toes, that's a great place to be too. So find what feels most comfortable for you. And as you inhale, we're going to come into chair pose. Exhale, come up to a stand and either lift one heel or both heels. Okay, inhale, exhale, inhale. Notice my back is nice and long. I'm not doing this. Okay, my chest is proud. My hips are pushing back. I'm hinging here at the hips, like I'm reaching my sit bones back to sit into a chair. And again, you can be holding on here. Let's just do one more. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Good work. Okay, coming to our pelvic floor work here. I'm going to show you what we're doing in case you have not watched my first 5 video series of this pelvic health chair yoga. So this is a pelvic floor. It's a pelvic floor with a vagina, but it's very similar to that of one with a penis. Things are just, the front genitalia is different, but the structure, the muscles, all of that is pretty much the same. There are some like sex organs and pleasure nerves that may be reoriented in them, but really that's the only difference. So we have these 2 sit bones, and if you rock side to side like we did at the beginning of class, these are your 2 sit bones. Okay. We have the pelvic floor muscles that attach across from these 2 sit bones. Do you see this here? Okay. And then we have our pubis, which you can find your pubis here. And then we have our tailbone, the very bottom of the spine. And we have the attachment point from the pubis. It goes in a figure 8 or an infinity symbol, a figure 8 shape around the front genitalia, connects here at the perineum, and then around again the anal sphincter and attaches to the tailbone. So you can think of these like there are strings. There's a big string across the 2 sit bones, and there's a string across from the pubis to the tailbone. And on our exhale, we are going to tighten these strings to pull in these 4 corners. Okay, so you can think of a diamond. I'm going to put my second pelvis down. So find your seat, and it may help to visualize or imagine these strings. And on the inhale, they're relaxing, expanding. On the exhale, ask your body to pull these strings together. And notice, are your hips trying to do the work? Are your glutes in your butt trying to do the work? Are your abs trying to do the work? Try to relax those areas if you can. And inhale, imagine them stretching open like a trampoline. Breathe all the way down into the pelvic floor. And exhale, pull the strings together. Inhale, open. Exhale, pull them in. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, relax. Exhale, pull them in. Awesome. Let's do a little self-massage and begin winding down. If you have a tennis ball or myofascial release balls, These are yoga tune-up balls, which I think are pretty affordable online, but you can also use a potato. I'm all about using what you have around the house. You can use this on your feet, but I didn't say that we needed these specifically. So just a tip for the future. Let's massage our jaw. Take your hands and pull them up into your temples above the ears and your jaw. Just gently massage the jaw with the thumbs. Open the jaw. Come up here a little bit closer. I mentioned before that our pelvis is connected to our jaw, and if we're holding tension in our jaw, probably holding tension in the pelvic floor too. You can take your hands and clasp them behind your neck, and just a gentle lean back as you kind of lift your hands up towards the sky, lengthening the back of the neck. Maybe even pull them down, elbows come towards one another, and gently rock from side to side. One elbow's pulling down and you're kind of turning your neck with it, if that feels okay. Go ahead and come back up. We're going to do our lymphatic and circulation tapping. So it starts at the top of our heads, like little raindrops with the fingertips all along the scalp, down the back, gently down the face. Just feel it bringing that circulation. Maybe start feeling a tingling in the skin. Once I get to my chest, I make it a little bit harder. Maybe even taps. Shoulders. Really get under that armpit area. Have a lot of lymph nodes there. Other arm. Okay, and start going down the legs. Maybe make fists. Those hips, the outer hips. A little bit in the low back. And you can work down each leg. And as you can reach, maybe you elevate one leg on top of the other thigh, or you have a stepping stool. I'm trying to get to the tapping the feet. And come up. I'm gonna come up the way we went down. You can close your eyes. Just notice how this feels as it brings that blood flow to different places. I'm making my way back up my face gently, back to the top of my head. And when you're done, bring your hands back down to your lap. And just notice if you can feel that circulation, if you can feel that little tingling sensation anywhere, maybe on your face, your scalp, your lips. And if you can, take a few moments just to settle in and be still for a moment. A great time to settle into a meditation. If you can, remember your intention here, your I am statement. This is where I'm going to leave you today. Keep up the good work. And thank you so much for being here. If you ever have any questions or want to reach out, you can email me at meganmathersyoga@gmail.com or info@meganmathersyoga.com. Thank you.